What is up, Buckeye Nation? Flowco here with Ohio State Football with Scarlet and Great right here on YouTube. We appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in. Click like on the video if you like what you see. Subscribe to the channel. Helps the algorithm. Helps us grow. We're trying to get to 6,000 subscribers. We appreciate you guys. I got a special guest, one of my good friends in the podcasting world, all the way up in Indiana. My buddy Jay Stevens, from the host of the Jay Stevens podcast, host of Locked On Buckeyes, does a great job there. And of course, a huge Buckeye fan, obviously. Been on his show many times. We've had him over here a couple times. We got to have him here more often. We're here to talk transfer portal stuff today because there is some news swirling around. We want to talk about it. I want to bring my good friend Jay on talk. How you doing, Jay?
Corey, I'm doing well. We had a little technical difficulty for the second time this week with my microphone. Microphone sounds good, I hope. The headphone jack is what's giving me the issues. I'm going to show this old microphone here. It looks great. The other backup microphone was having issues too, so the microphone sounds good. The other microphone would have been sounding bad. What I hope is not bad, though, Corey, is Ohio State's use of the transfer portal and that they utilize it in a good way to make this roster a whole lot better than it currently is.
Absolutely. We're also looking at another player named Kyle Ford, wide receiver out of UCLA. Now, some people would say that's crazy. We got 1.5 million receivers, but he's experienced and he's played in Chip Kelly's offense, and Chip Kelly has reached out to him. According to Bill Kurelic, I think it's Bill Kurelic. If I'm quoting the wrong person, I apologize on that. But I'm not totally opposed to it, Jay. What do you think?
I'm not either. So you mentioned something there with him that goes way past the stats. He knows Chip Kelly's offense, and he's experienced. Those two things. Now, he's not like 3 years in Chip Kelly's offense. He played at USC for multiple years. I think he played 1 year at UCLA, and now he's in the portal. Before I get any further, it's very odd for you to transfer to your rival. Like, people on the West Coast may try to hype up the USC
unless you're Tony Alford.
rivalry. Well, that's true. That's another story, Corey. But I'm like, no, if I'm a player, I would never transfer to my rival. No, not at all. So that's one thing about, like, maybe that rivalry is not as hyped up or as big as some people on the West Coast might think it actually is. But he's experienced in Chip Kelly's offense. And I'm not going to say he is more talented than some of the young receivers at Ohio State. I'm not going to say that. He does have more experience than them in just college football in general. And that means a lot. One thing Ohio State has right now is Emeka Egbuka, and many people believe as long as he keeps playing like he has been, he will be a first-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. You have a true freshman wide receiver in Jeremiah Smith, who many people think will be amazing in the fall. I am one of them. I do believe that Jeremiah Smith will be amazing. But he's going to need somebody to lead him, and I'm curious to see him as a blocking receiver and how quickly he adjusts to that and figures that part out. But then you got Cardinal Tate, Bryson Rogers, Brandon Ennis. You haven't really seen Jaden Ballard or Kojo Antwi or Grays or some of these other guys that have been there for a while but haven't got on the field. They need somebody else experienced. I am a person, Corey, that always, especially last season, made some comments about Julian Fleming and not really being the most sure-handed receiver out there. But he provided a lot in the locker room and helped with the culture at Ohio State.
And the
leadership
blocking.
that is not going to be there this year. So I think Chip Kelly realizes I don't have Julian Fleming. He's at Penn State. Got a couple receivers at Penn State that just hit the portal after their spring game. So I'm kind of curious to see where they end up going. You're not going to get them. But, of course, if you can get a guy who's going to come in who might only want 350 to 400 receiving yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, he'll be cool. But he has the experience you want. He knows the offense. And, well, no Chip Kelly. He'll learn the offense. But also he knows how to block as a receiver downfield. I think this is a win-win for everybody involved.
Yeah, not to mention he gets to come play for a national title contender. And make no mistake, Ohio State this year is a national title contender.
He's not getting out of UCLA.
Not with this. I mean, look, I'm not knocking Deshaun Foster. Maybe he turns into a great coach, but it's a program that's mediocre at best most of the time. And Deshaun Foster's a first-year head coach. No, you're not going anywhere. You're not sniffing the playoff. And you're moving to the Big Ten, which is a much tougher conference overall than the Pac-12 ever was. And I'm not knocking the teams like Oregon. I think Oregon's a phenomenal addition. Washington, UCLA, and USC are all great additions. They're going to make the Big Ten even tougher. And especially Oregon, man. Oregon's going to be a monster.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and I fully respect what they're doing over there. Dan Lanning's a great young head coach. But again, UCLA, maybe you get 500 this year at best, maybe. come play for Ohio State. You got a chance to play for it all, man. And you're not going to be the feature guy. That's obvious. That's never going to happen here at Ohio State, but you'll be in the rotation. Like you said, you'll be a leader in the locker room, be a guy who's respected because he's been around. And not to mention, I look at him as like a potential Tanner McAllister type of pickup. Yes. Like for Jim Knowles, and yes. I think Tanner was not a guy that we would normally recruit and put on the defense and make him the starter, but he was a guy who knew Jim Knowles' defense all the way through, and he knew how to come help Jim Knowles install it for this first year, and he provided that valuable leadership. Quite frankly, in the game against Wisconsin, Tanner McAllister turned out to be very, very valuable. But so I look at it as it's just a guy who has been around. He's played in a lot of games. I agree, getting more experience. There's not a lot of experience in that wide receiver room outside of Emeka. No. There really isn't.
No.
Carnell's got 1 year where he played most of the games, but he wasn't ever a feature guy. And you just got, and not to mention they're trying to break in a new quarterback potentially. Now I know they know Devin a lot better than they know Will, but if it's Will's the guy, another guy, you got to, you're going to have to break in. So Chip Kelly knows what Kyle Ford's strengths are. Bring him in. Let him play that role, and like I said, play for a team that's going to win a lot of football games. Have a lot of fun your last season, right? So
you have to.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not opposed to whoever they want to bring at this point if they think it helps the roster, because I'm so done with this attitude of when we used to hear, don't bring in what was his name, the corner that went to LSU and then Bama, Eli Ricks.
Yes.
I'm so sick of hearing that we can't get Eli Ricks. When I heard it came out of got leaked that they just didn't want to disrupt the corner room, which, by the way, most of them transferred at the time anyway.
It's so true. That's so true, man.
It wasn't like some elite room, So instead, it's like, hey, we're going to bring in guys we think are going to help us win. Are you with us or not? And I think the kicker and Kyle Ford both could be solid additions. Kicker, especially, that one would actually excite me. I don't, say far be it for me to say get excited about a kicker, but I think a kicker would actually excite me when he's that good. And why wouldn't you want to move from Miami of Ohio to Ohio State? This is a no-brainer, right? And then you want to play in high stakes, high pressure situations. Here you go. Here's your chance, right here. So, anywho. Possible 2 additions. We'll see how it pans out. Maybe they don't. Maybe they meet with him, say, it's not really culture fit, but who knows? Jay, now it's been quiet on the transfer portal front for Ohio State. Let me ask you something, man. We got a couple more weeks, I think, before it closes. We're not out of the woods yet, right?
No, not at all. No, Corey, when it comes to the Buckeyes action in the portal, I think Ryan Day's realizing, similar to the Carlos Loughlin hire, you don't have to rush it. You that symbol, the Blocko, still means a whole lot to this sport. And it doesn't matter if you are trying to get somebody from Alabama or somebody from Miami of Ohio, like the kicker. You are Ohio State. You are easily one of the top 5, maybe top 2 teams in the country right now in the preseason. And that's a very that's a big prediction. That's a big projection because nobody knows what Ohio State's going to do in the fall. We all predict them to be amazing. We all expect them to be amazing. But until they're on the field with a new quarterback and all these different things, we don't exactly know what this team's going to be. I think they're going to be really good. I think they're one of the top 5, maybe top 3 teams in the country right now. That's not anything I'm not going to say. But still, you still need to take your time, do your process. If you want to make sure the academics are in line, great, cool. That could have been done already by now anyway. But I do think, but my number, Corey, this may be low for some. Over under set at 5.5 Buckeyes that will enter the portal. I think that's still going to be the number. There's 2 right now with Hayden and Cedrick Hawkins. And I still think we could easily see 2 or 3 of those older receivers leave. Kenyatta Jackson Jr., depending on how Ohio State wants to utilize Mitchell Melton in the upcoming season, Kenyatta Jackson Jr. can hit the portal. This is not me saying he's a bad player. I just think that they may want to elevate Mitchell Melton and get him on the field maybe sooner than Jackson Jr. I'm not sure. But those are just some names there. I like all these guys. I don't want them to leave. Trust me, I don't want them to leave at all, but I understand this is the nature of the business, nature of the sport, and I still think you could get a couple quarterbacks to leave. I don't think running backs are going to leave right now because outside of the top 2, the other ones are really, really young. TC Caffey's been there for a while, but I just don't see him leaving. But no, I think the Buckeyes are
– he probably looks at a chance to possibly play a little bit this year.
He might get a scholarship too. He might. I think the Buckeyes will see, especially over the weekend, going into Monday and Tuesday. I would expect more Buckeyes to enter the portal. And Corey, I think Ohio State's should be interested in getting a running back from the portal. Because outside of the top two guys, do you want to trust a guy in Caffey who's a walk-on, but really was banged up last year, hasn't played much ball? Do you want to trust your freshman in Peoples or Williams-Dixon to be your third back? Probably not. They're really good guys. I don't know if you want to trust them in that way. So go to the portal and get somebody.
You know, it's funny. You answered my question in my head. You're scaring me a little bit, Jay. I was about to ask, what with one position you wish they kind of would be aggressive in the portal, what would it be? I'll ask it. You can name one other position because I agree with you on the running back situation.
Oh, well, so there's another one easily. It's also on offense. But I'll go back to the running back one once again. I think James Peoples right now is the third back of the room for an obvious reason. I still don't know how James Peoples is going to do in pass pro in the fall. So I think he's a solid running back. I think he can do some amazing things against Marshall and Akron and some of those lower level Big Ten schools. I don't know how he's going to do against pass pro against Iowa, against Penn State, against Oregon, against Michigan, against these big boys in the sport. I don't know how he's going to do. But you do know how somebody in the portal will do because you got film on them in college football. Corey, I am not sold on this offensive line. I am not happy with some of the positions some of the guys are playing. I know some say Seth McLaughlin's going to be an amazing guy, but I say you have to put him in the right position. I am not a fan of potentially benching Carson Hinsman because McLaughlin is here. I think Hinsman can play guard or center. I think McLaughlin should probably play guard over center. I think Josh Frye is out of position, but if you move Josh Frye to guard, who plays right tackle? That's the one spot to me, right tackle, that is a big question mark, and I have no idea what the answer is outside of going to the portal and hopefully getting a gym this time of year. There are still teams playing their spring games this week. I mean, unfortunately, we get that team in Ann Arbor's playing theirs. You can watch it on
that
Fox
might be kind of funny to watch. It was just a QB situation. It might be I got an argument with one of their fans yesterday. He says, "Oh, you're in QB hell right now." I said, "Not compared to Michigan, we're not."
So my boss at my job, he was like, "Yeah, we got some guy named Jack Tuttle." I said, "Oh, he sucks. He used to play at IU."
Yeah,
he's like, "Oh," and he's like, "Well, we got Orgy," and I was like, "Okay, he's not good either." And then he said,
he's got the most unfortunate name. Yeah,
I know. Hey, RG3 uses that in puns all the time, and I'm not mad about the way that he utilizes it. It's very funny to me in that way. But no, like, it would be fun to watch. But with the right tackle spot, Corey, if Fryer's your guy, that's a liability in pass pro.
It is. I agree with you.
If he's better at guard, do you hurt McLaughlin or Hinsman? I don't think Donovan Jackson's going to move out of that left guard spot unless he goes to right tackle. But even then, has he progressed enough to even play right tackle? I don't know. I'm so confused by the way that they've looked at the offensive line. And if it is reshuffling some guys, Corey, Ryan Day says he wants the best five. We have seen that a couple years ago when they played 4 offensive tackles. It wasn't the best offensive line the Buckeyes have had.
Nope.
Put the right guys in the right positions and let everything else fall where it may.
Yeah, I hope Tegra kind of shows out in the fall and beats Fryer out is what I'm kind of hoping. I hate to say that. I don't want to knock Fryer. I think he's probably a good guy, and I think he tries really hard. I'm not anti-Fryer, but he's probably more suited to play guard, and I don't think you bench Hinsman or McLaughlin or Donnie Jackson in favor of Fryer. So, I mean, McLaughlin, I mean, he's got his flaws, but he's an all SEC guy.
Yeah,
I don't see how you bench him for Fryer. And Hinsman honestly has a lot of upside and potential. Whoever's center makes no never mind to me. If it's Hinsman or McLaughlin, just put them next to each other. Whatever way you feel is right. Donnie, look, he's got so much experience. I think 2 years starting now. Just either keep him in that position or move him right tackle, like you said. If you move him to right tackle and switch him and Fryer, basically, I'd almost be okay with it. Like, okay, let's see that. But again, I'm not Justin Frye and I'm not Chip Kelly. It's going to be interesting to see. Shane and I did a video on this, the relationship between Chip Kelly and Justin Frye, how Chip Kelly's influence on Justin Frye impacts what the starting five may or may not be come in the fall. I definitely don't think we've seen the final five just yet. I think in the fall they're still going to be battling, and I think the best three on the inside on our team, in my opinion, I'm not there for practice, obviously, but are Jackson, Hinsman, and McLaughlin, in whichever order they put them in. And I don't know how Tegra is in practice. The fan in me wants to go with the backup, as is normal for fans. Maybe Tegra struggles with speed rushes. I don't remember Isaiah Prince used to just break my heart every game because I'm thinking you're so big and so athletic. Why is this hard? Tegra may have a bit of Isaiah Prince in him. I don't know. I know Tegra wants to play, but Josh also. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me if we lose one of them before the portal is out because I know Tegra wants to play, and if he's told again Fryer's going to be the guy, or we can't guarantee you whoever's going to be, we can't guarantee either one of you you're going to be the starter going after fall camp. I mean, one of them might just say, what, I got to cut my losses and find a place I can start and play. So I don't know. Maybe you end up with Fryer back in Indiana with you guys over there.
Go play for the Hoosiers. They just had their first spring game in 5 years. That's just how bad that program has been.
They haven't had a spring game?
No, bro. No.
Well, no wonder Tom Allen's program went down the tubes. Holy crap. I mean, what were they doing?
Not practicing, apparently. Not showing off for the fans. I mean,
granted, you might only get 5,000 people there, but still, I mean, that you got to start somewhere.
Corey, there's one more name I want to throw out there on the offensive line that might head to the portal. There are guys on defense I'm sure might head to the portal. Gabe Powers is one where I wonder, does he want to stick around or does he want to leave? Because even if he sticks around, what's to say Sonny Styles leaves at the end of the year and goes to the NFL? He can stay another year. CJ Hicks, what says he leaves at the end of the year and goes to the NFL? He can stay another year. So Gabe Powers could be behind a couple guys again. Enoch Vamahi might go, and I won't be mad. I won't be mad at all. He has shown me when he's on the field, he has a frame, he has a body. Like, he's not like just some skinny guy or some guy that's massive and can't move at all. He doesn't really do the football thing, playing it very well at Ohio State.
He was bad against Missouri. He was really bad.
Okay, I think the entire offensive line was bad against Missouri.
Yeah, but he had a change. Okay, of the offensive line, most of them, besides Matt Jones, were almost guaranteed a starting spot next year.
Yeah.
Either way, he's the one who could have showed out and said, maybe I could be considered for that guard position. And I'm like, well, if that's any indication, then probably not. And he's been here. It's like Enoch. It's kind of the urban effect, right? He'll sit you down. It's like, look, what are you, a junior? It's time to play or go. So I wonder. They just had their meetings with Ryan Day, and I think with the new rosy-cheeked assassin who's happy and feels good about the program, might be telling some kids some harsh truths.
They need that though, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
They need that. I have been in meetings at various jobs I've had where bosses have told me things either behind closed doors at a meeting with just them and myself, or it's people around in a group setting where they're saying things that you don't like, but you need to hear. That's just a part of life. Now, it sucks when you're an 18 to 22-year-old young man and you've been around these guys for a long time and you're practicing with them, working out with them, and you've grown with them, you matured with them, you've gone through a lot of tough practices together, and all of a sudden your head coach who brought you in says, wait, this might not be the spot for you. You're like, wait, I'm doing everything right. I have been getting better, all this stuff, but then you're saying this might not be the spot for me. That's just football, bro.
Yep.
That's just how football is. Now, Enoch Vamahi, he might be able to start somewhere. I'm not saying he can't start anywhere, just not at Ohio State right now. Yeah. He might be able to go to an Indiana or a Purdue or maybe a Miami of Ohio or a Bowling Green or Toledo and start now. Why?
Man, you got him all the way down to Bowling Green. Jeez, you really don't like this kid.
It's just a level of football that he goes down to play the football. I think he
can play in the Big Ten. I think he could play at Purdue, and I think
he could too. I think he could.
Because Bowling Green's like, like wow. I mean, they're recruits that we don't even consider. It's
People
like
are like, you said Bowling Green, you went way down there. Hey, don't come at me. Don't come at me. I'm just giving an example.
I'm trying to help the audience a little bit. I'm slowly coming at them about it. Yeah. But again, Bowling Green's like one of those schools where we invite to one of our satellite camps, because there's like a bunch of 2-star Ohio kids that aren't going to have a possibility of going to Ohio State, but we want to get them seen by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even know if we do satellite camps anymore or anything like that. But anyways, Jay, we're running long, but it's always a pleasure, man. We're talking some good transfer portal stuff today. I'm so happy to have you on the program as always, brother. Tell them where they could find you.
Corey, it's fun, man. Got to do it again. Got to get you back on Locked On Buckeyes, too. You can follow me on X at jstevens07. That's the same handle for any social media platform, the TikTok, the Instagram. Follow me wherever you want to find me. And Locked On Buckeyes, daily podcast every Monday through Friday on the YouTube or any audio podcast app that you listen to. Locked On Buckeyes is there. It's free with no ads on Amazon Music as well. But then also the Jay Stevens podcast. It's here. It's hit or miss every time. I've been kind of busy preparing for my son to get here. My first child to be born in July. But that'll be
wow! Congratulations! I didn't know this. Wow, he's breaking some news here. This is more important than the portal news, buddy. Congratulations.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But no, that podcast is going to come back, and I'm going to do some interviews, do some opinion stuff, and just do what I love. I do a lot of interview stuff and a different job that I have, but I mean, I like talking sports, Corey. So if I can talk sports. Oh, also, it also helps, Corey, that Caitlin Clark is in Indiana for the Fever. So it gives me an excuse to talk women's basketball, which is fun. Mm-hmm. She's fun to watch. She's going to
uplift the WNBA. I think she's going to actually raise all the salaries of the WNBA.
Corey, I'm going to stop talking, but I'm going to say this really quickly. I heard a guy on the radio say the get in the door price for the Chicago Sky game when the Chicago Sky are at home in a 10,000 seat gym when the Fever go to Chicago, the get in the door price for the nosebleeds is $200. That's right now.
Wow.
That's now.
She's doing it smart. She's building her brand, which is going to help the WNBA. And your statistic right there just proved it.
An 8-figure deal with
But she
Nike.
Can't stink. She has to be good.
Oh, yes. I was like, if she sucks, this is going to be bad. Now, granted, I'm going to say this too. That jump from college ball for women to the WNBA, it's tough. It's tough going up
for any sport. Yeah.
18 to 22-year-old young women to now playing women that are 22 to 35, 38, 40. That's hard, man. So, like, if she doesn't make it, I will understand because that transition is hard. Not everybody can do that, but if she does make it, I'll be rooting for her, and I hope she stays playing for the Fever her entire career. I've never bought a female jersey of any sport. Hey, man, you might see me on here one day with the Fever jersey.
You are a sick chauvinist, misogynist, you terrible human being. Honestly, God, it's like people were talking about her salary versus Victor Wembanyama, I think his name is, from the Spurs, who's, by the way, he's a phenomenal basketball player. And what he's doing as a rookie is insane. But no, I was like, okay, there's a revenue issue. WNBA doesn't make money, but that could change, starting with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Maybe somebody said it could be the Bird Magic Johnson rivalry that the WNBA needs. And honestly,
so it's a black-white thing.
Of course. Well, what else would it be? We got to have racism. We got to have racism involved somewhere, dude.
I feel comfortable saying that on this show, Corey. I wouldn't say that many places, but I'll say it for you.
Yeah, it's like ebony and ivory. It's like, honestly, people will make a mountain out of molehill with the color divide there, but honestly, they're probably competitors and friends in real life. Like Magic and Larry. Magic and Larry became great friends. So it took about 7 years, but they became great friends. All they had to do was one commercial together.
That's it.
But no, I mean, like, they could seriously uplift the game higher than it's ever been because they built the brand. I think that the college women's NCAA final got more viewers than the men's NCAA final, if I recall correctly. I think they got like 4 million more viewers. So it could be a sign of things to come for Caitlin to bring to the league. So with people worried about her salary, she's going to make. I think she just signed an 8-figure deal with Nike. She'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So appreciate you. Appreciate you as always, Jay. Locked On Buckeyes, Jay Stevens podcast at J007. Is it Jay Stevens 007?
No, just 10.
Oh, 07. Okay. I don't remember people's Twitter. I don't remember my own Twitter handle half the time. I was like, I'm at C Thompson. No, wait, it's Scarlet Great CD. Anyway, Jay, we're gonna have it all in the description there. Please check out Jay. He does a great job with Locked On. He's been the host there. How many years now? You've been the host of Locked On? Like 2?
4, bro.
4.
Hey, let's blame that old former Big Ten commissioner because I would have got on sooner, but he decided to not have a season and then instead have a season a little bit later than normal. I could have been joined to this thing a little bit sooner in 2020 than normal. I think it's almost 4 years. I'm rounding up because I can.
Kevin Warren, man, a guy, the 19 and 20-year-olds the most susceptible to coronavirus. So, all these Greek god-like athlete kids are susceptible. Oh, man. We appreciate you, Jay. We'll have you on again. Obviously, I look forward to going back on Locked On. As always, guys, goodbye. God bless. And, of course, go Bucks.